Hi, my name is Charlotte Rose and I am a painter based in Cheltenham in the UK. In 2021, I graduated from Southampton Solent University with a First in Fine Arts and have been working as a part-time artist since then. Since graduating, I am super grateful to have the opportunity to be chosen as an artist for the Write programme, where I was able to develop and be part of a handful of exhibitions. I am now currently a resident artist at the Hidden Wardrobe, showcasing my first solo exhibition thanks to the Write programme. At first glance, my work appears like crazy explosions of pink and femininity, self-portraits typically being my go-to. My practice seeks to subvert the male gaze and challenge conventional representations of women through satire and playfulness. My family is full of creators in art and music, and I am super lucky to have grown up around so many of them who were very encouraging of it. Some of my best memories growing up were visiting my grandparents, who would always entertain me with their in-home art studio and collections of paintings, drawings, and art supplies. They still have some of my earliest work up in their sheds. In school, I was very shy and quiet, so drawing and painting was an easy escape for me. I started off drawing celebrities I loved at the time, as every teenage girl does, and quickly figured out face structure. I can't remember a time where I drew anything other than portraits, which I find to be quite interesting about myself, because I've never practiced animals or landscapes, so nowadays when I'm practicing a background I find it extremely difficult to get it right. One of the main parts of my work, when you look at it, is the presence of the colour pink. Growing up in the 2000s and the 2010s, we saw a lot of young women reject stereotypical beauty and girly-like aesthetics. I too went through this phase when I started to reject all things feminine and fall for trends such as not like other girls. Nowadays, I'm embracing that side of me that loves hyper-feminine things and clothing. Early in my art journey, my main influence was an artist called Ellie Smallwood, a Canadian painter exploring women's anatomy and sexuality. Nowadays, I am looking at new artists. At the moment, I'm really enjoying Damien Cefeli's work, but I always find myself coming back to illustrator and writer Florence Given. I've just finished a big project for my first ever solo exhibition, which is currently on display. So I think it's very important to have a break after completing a big project such as this, and I'm giving myself time to bask in my glory a little bit before moving on to the next thing. So at the moment I am enjoying a little bit of time off from painting. I still work full time, so my days off actually feel like days off now. I can't say too much about what I'm planning on next, so I don't spoil it, but I will say there's a few ideas on the table that include a few larger sculptures and matching paintings. There are also some small discussions about exhibitions in Cheltenham, but I'm not going to jinx it as it's very early days. My biggest challenge at the moment being an artist is social media. I am not a fan of social media, nor am I good at it. Plus, it takes lots of time to plan and post consistently to get the algorithm to push out certain posts. It isn't really my thing, and it almost completely ruins the fun of art for me, because suddenly I am judging my work on how well it performs online. If I could completely avoid it, I would, but I know the world that we live in now, it's almost necessary to reach people who haven't seen your work before. What advice would I give my younger self? To keep creating because you enjoy creating, and don't let school ruin your creativity, and drop out of college. I needed this advice especially when I was in college, as I received a lot of criticism and quite harsh advice, which ultimately left me feeling very unmotivated. I would skip school because I felt like I couldn't do anything right and I was failing creatively and as an artist. Looking back at it now, I should have just dropped out and spent that year creating what I wanted, because in the end for my university interviews I never actually used any of my college work, and even looking back at it now it's not my best work at all. Have I tried any unconventional medias or techniques? Yes and no. I have experimented with a handful of different medias, one of which was a film made for Write 5, which is available to watch on YouTube, by the way. But I think it goes without saying that you can't study art without trying to be a little bit of everything, even if I did really hate it a lot in my college years. Do I listen to music? Yes, like I mentioned earlier, I grew up in a very creative family. Music was a big part of this, so I will have any chance to be listening to music. My taste is very broad, but I have found recently listening to classics such as Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd have really been putting me in the zone. Best reaction someone has had to my artwork? Any reaction is the best, I think, even if it's not complicated, but why did you do that, or how did you do that? It's crazy to me because to have someone interested in you and what you love doing is a mad compliment in itself. What do I hope people take away from my work? That life isn't all that serious and it's okay to express yourself however you want. If you want to have a voice in this world, then you should be allowed to use it no matter how you try to express it. A big thank you to Stan at Art by Artists for giving me this interview and also being so very patient with me. You can follow me on Instagram at Charlotte Rose Art or on TikTok, charlotterose.art. And hopefully soon my website will be up, which is charlotteroseart.com. Really easy to remember, and I hope to make new friends. Thank you, bye!